What's going on? What's going on, guys? It's your boy Tay, and today we're going to talk about some books that I read while I was locked up in the penitentiary today. Yes, we're going to talk about some books that I read, and the reason we're going to talk about these books is some of these books were motivation for me to when I came home to be somewhat of who I am today. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Dante. Welcome to the channel. This is my second channel where I come and I like just talking about so many different things on this channel, reaction videos, whatever my mind comes to and I feel like doing. That's what I do on this channel. But I do have another channel called Prison 2 Number 2 Profit. But no, it's not called Prison 2 Number 2 Profit, but it's Prison with the number 2 Profit. So Prison 2 Profit. But yes, I do have another channel, and that channel we just crossed 10,000 or actually 11,000 subscribers. So yes, and on that channel I like talking about how to make money, and I like to show other people that you can always turn a dollar into another dollar. It's that one more magical dollar. And on this channel, mostly I've been talking about like a lot of things that's going on while I was locked up in prison. So there are positive things that goes on while you're locked up as well. And although they don't provide much for you while you're locked up, you can do things on your own to gain some knowledge. And what do we know ever since like we were like little? Like knowledge is key. Like everybody should know that, right? Everybody knows the saying, take a look, it's in a book. Yeah, take a look. Everybody knows that. Like all good information comes from books. So a lot of us have transformed getting information from reading to watching those videos via YouTube, via internet, via however. But a lot of people like watching YouTube and figuring they know how to do exactly whatever they know how to do. But when you're locked up, you don't have YouTube. You can't just sit back and watch a bunch of financial videos. You can't sit back and watch a bunch of people showing you how to make money. So you got to come up with your own little way to, what can I do to try to advance my mind a little bit? And obviously reading. None of these books that I will be talking about aren't any novels or anything like that. These are actually books that help me, motivated me in some kind of way, shape, and or form. I have all of these books here except for one of them. One of the books I did leave behind because, we want to be able to pay it forward while those who are still locked up, they need a little bit of information as well. But anyways, a lot of these books I still have because when I was locked up, I did send a bunch of things home, and some of the stuff I still have, and half of the stuff I don't even know where it's at. I do have many more books that I could talk about, but I'm not. I'm just going to talk about these 5 because I think, let's go ahead and talk about them so that way you'll understand why we're talking about these books. So as you know, I did 10 years in prison, and while you're locked up, you don't have many things that you can do to advance yourself because they don't offer a lot of programs. So what you want to do is you want to read a lot. And I'm talking about you want to get in any kind of book that's going to help you mentally. And when I say that, I mean like, because when you come home, a lot of people back there, they don't have anything to really look forward to. So that you can find a lot of motivation in certain books. So when you're back there, you have the option to read. And a lot of people read books that are fiction. You don't see too many nonfiction books going around and getting passed around in the dorm. But I mean, so that's really upon you to put yourself in those positions to read those good books. And for me, these are some books that helped motivate me till this day as I speak to you right now. I use some of these things that I've read in these books right now in life. But let's go ahead and talk about these books without further ado. So the very first book that I picked up, so we're going to talk about the book because I picked it up anyways. So this book is called iJobs, 101 Ways to Make an Extra Buck. And it's kind of common sense why I have this book, right? Because you see where my mind was at when I was locked up. Like, I need to figure out how many different ways can I go out there and hustle and make money for myself. Because when I was locked up, that's when I discovered like making $10 and $12 an hour just wasn't cutting it, man. Because we have the skills within ourselves to be able to go out there and make that hourly wage by doing any one of these little jobs in this book. Yeah, I'm just gonna open randomly and see where we get popped up. So it says right here, cater waiter. Obviously, that's a good job. It's a side hustle. What you get, $12 to $20 an hour, and pretty much it tells you everything that you can do, and it tells you all the perks of the job, and it pretty much breaks it down. It tells you what you need, the sites that you can check out to be able to start your own business and get involved into some of these jobs. So there's just so many different random, like even right here, a human scarecrow. You can be a human scarecrow. Start your own business and just be a human scarecrow. So go stand out somebody's house and scare all the scarecrows away.
Dumbest words I've ever heard.
But seriously, yeah, a treasure hunt coordinator, a shopping online, retail arbitrage. What do you think we do now? Gift wrapper. Yeah, so there's so many small jobs in here, including escort. Yeah, this thing tells you all of the iJobs. They needed 101 ideas for you, so trust me, they have them all. Good, the bad, and what we may call the ugly. So yeah, this book right here, the 101 iJobs and ways to make extra buck. Yeah, so I utilized some of this stuff, or was gonna utilize some of this stuff, because there's simple things in here like dog walker or starting your own car washing business. And when you really break all that stuff down, like again, I always talk about like hourly wage, and time is money, right? How much can you make in the least amount of time? So you want to maximize dollar for your time. And just small jobs are like washing cars. If you go out there and knock on every house and see if you can wash their car, I guarantee you can make a nice little strong wage of like $15 and above, even up into that high range to like 20 something dollars. So imagine if you did that over and over and over, and then you turn that into a business, and then you got your brick and mortar, and then turn that into multiple businesses. Or that's just one example of the jobs that were in here, like I was saying. But anyways, and another book is 1,001 Ways to Make Money If You Dare. You see the common theme? What we got? It's the same theme. I was thinking about money, grinding, and how can I better myself when I get on them streets. And this is literally 1,001 ways to make money. And just like that book, it breaks it all down for you. Literally, sell your natural suds. Create your own signature fragrance and sell soaps to localty specialty stores. Create and sell reusable shopping bags. Reusable shopping bags are all the rage now. People want to do their part to go green. There's a simple way for you to make $1. Make recyclable fashion, sell mixtapes, be a wedding singer, DJ in a wedding. Like literally charge for characters, find an oil field, write your own one-man show, a street magician. Like I just named so many different random ways you can make money. And I know some of you are like, man, that just sounds crazy, but if there's 1,001 in here, I guarantee you can pick up on like 7 or 10 and then utilize those to help your life and your hustle. And then this book, simply 50 ways to help you live longer, because I personally am reaching an age where I need to take care of my body.
And you look old as hell.
And that's what this book is more than anything. Now, I don't want to live longer just because, but if I'm going to be on this earth, I want to do the things I need to do to be able to live longer. So I had always said by the time I'm 40, I want to go to like a switch to a healthier living. And I've said that because of this book. Once we get up there in age, our body starts to change and lets us know certain things that we need to stop, cut out, or we should have never been doing anyway. So, I just want to kind of read this book, and it talks about more things like that. Like chapter 39, it's telling you how you need to live with purpose. So this book isn't just like techniques and how you can live longer by eating and meditating and stuff like that. Although some of that is in here. There's a lot of different things that, you really need to know. Like, boom, you need to watch your back. Like, and it's not like watch your back because of somebody's behind you, but you need to watch your back because it's talking about your spine, how it's interlocking with all of your bones and et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, but that's literally the words in the book. It breaks all of that down for you. So it just gives you some insight about eating habits and just a lot of different things that you can do to better your well-being and being able to just like live on this earth. Like even in this book, I think I just ran across it where it's like lend a hand. I'm all about talking about blessing people and stuff like that, paying it forward, and I'm glad this book has that in there. So, lend a hand. Just small stuff like that. And then book number 4, I actually don't have with me because I just told you that I actually gave that book to somebody else when I was gone. But that book is actually called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. That book probably changed my entire life, guys. When it came to just like learning how we can utilize our mind to make more money, how we can utilize our mind to create almost anything that we want to, and believe the things that we set for ourselves, we can actually go out there and achieve it. It tells us about what we need to do with our money, smart investing and things of that nature. It talks about how to grind versus the rich dad versus the poor dad, which I think Robert Kiyosaki's dad was the poor dad. I don't think he was definitely the poor dad, and how he saw his dad grind and never use his money wisely, and he was just living, versus the rich dad who was all about investing and making sure he's putting his money in the right places and things of that nature. That book probably made me get all this other books that you see, like the iJobs, the Living Healthy, and these are just some of the books that I got. I've gotten so many books. Again, when I was back there, when I got so many financial books. I wish I would have had a business book for you guys. I'm talking about, I was getting into like businesses and LLCs. I wanted to know the difference between the sole proprietorship. I wanted to know the difference between it all, guys. Like I really got into books, and just anything I felt I needed to know, I just read a book on. Like I said, mainly it was about stock markets for me, side hustles, creating business plans, which business is better for me, just all of that, business acquisitions, how to start a nonprofit. I was all about that, like all that in that sector. And not all that came from like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I want to say even like the dude I met, Sean, he's the first dude who ever got me into stocks, and he introduced me to that book first. And then from there, he was like, okay, now we can dive into the stocks. And he broke down what the NASDAQ was and the Dow and all that stuff. Like, and that's just a whole nother video. But yeah, that just like opened my mind to like, I guess I want to use the word financial freedom. And to me, I didn't know the word financial freedom until Dave Ramsey. But like at the same time, I was like, Robert Kiyosaki, he was preaching the same thing, like financial freedom. He used the word wealth a lot in his book. So it's like, what's wealth to you? You know, and at the end of the day, like I can have $100,000 in my pocket and say I'm wealthy, and then somebody else can have $1 million in their pocket, and you know, I may feel as I'm wealthier than them, because wealth is a state of being, a state of mind. That's what it is at the end of the day, because you know, that's just what it is. I mean, yeah, that's just what it is. But yeah, so Rich Dad Poor Dad, that book is amazing. I definitely recommend you go check that book out. There's a lot of books back there that people always read, like 48 Laws of Power and just things, I want to say the common books. But yeah, obviously I read some of those books, but I was always about like the things that open my mind up about the financial side of life. How can I turn a dollar into literally that other magical dollar? That's just what I was about, because I mean, that's what we're kind of here on the earth for. Like, we need to, not to make money, but we're here because we need to make a better way for us and our future. You know, that's what we need to do. And when I say our future, I mean like an inheritance for our children. I don't know what you believe in. And another book I will talk about, that's going to be a bonus, but we'll talk about that in a second. But this book that I'm talking about, and you probably already know what it is, it talks about how you need to leave an inheritance for your children. So, yeah, with that said, like our mind frames need to kind of click, or mine did at least, not everybody's. A lot of us, our mind frame needs to click into hustling for the right things. And I think once we put our mind in that hustling for the right things, we put ourselves in better positions. And, you know, after that, it's like the world is our oyster for real. And no matter what background you have. And I think that's the beauty about it, especially because we live here in these United States for the most part. My bad background has not held me back at all. Like I said, came home and I was a manager of a restaurant. I was taking care of money that you probably think a felon probably should never, ever been able to take care of on a regular basis, making deposits for this restaurant that I was working at again. And, you know, it's all because of the mind frame that I put myself in behind reading these books. Yeah. And then I guess the final book, when I say at the top 5, is going to be this book called The Prophecy. And it's the same author by Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote The Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I got this book and I ordered it myself because I wanted the follow-up to Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I read this book, and it's been passed around the dorm a million times. You can see I have my little notes in this book and all kinds of randomness. This book, to me personally, was a little bit better than Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Although Rich Dad, Poor Dad was probably better worldwide. I think that book sold like 32 million copies worldwide or something crazy like that. But The Prophecy, to me, is still a good book, because this really breaks down like the stock market side of things, investing side of things, and, you know, really putting your money where it matters, and like retirement. And it really breaks down like the consistency of the stock market, and he kind of gives you information about how, like in the, maybe I want to say like the 50s and 60s, the stock market took a deep dive, and then, you know, every like 10 to, I mean, not 15, I'm sorry, like every 10 to 12 years, the stock market kind of does the same thing, you know, and this book kind of doesn't lie. It talks about like the quadrants in this book and everything like that. I can't break it down smooth as he did when you read this book, but yeah, this is probably a good book for you to probably check out, especially if, you know, you want to get onto the side of like the investing and opening your mind. It's like, where do you need to put your money? I mean, that's just my opinion. Yeah. And then another bonus book I'm probably gonna get slack for talking about that I read a lot while I was back there, the Bible. Yeah, yeah, when I was back there, obviously, you know, I read the Bible a lot, and I mean a lot. I mean, some of you may not know this, but I had the chance to even preach when I was back there. And fast forward today, while I'm even talking about this, I wouldn't consider myself the Christian that I was back then, or even growing up, or what I grew up with that title as a Christian. I do believe, but you know, it's not about that. But at the same time, like I said, while I was back there, there was more than just the Bible that I did read. I read the Quran, any kind of information about a lot of different religions. If it came across me, I took a dive and I'll try to invest some time in just seeing what it was about. And one thing that I do know when it came to all of these books, even like the lost books, they all say pretty much the same things when it comes down like the core values of all of us. Like we need to love each other, we need to respect each other, and at the end of the day, we need to work hard and take care of our fellow man. No matter what you believe, all of the core beliefs say that, and it can all be broken down when it says literally honor and love your neighbor as if you love yourself. Because if you're doing that, man, like you literally can't do no wrong. We all should be blessing each other. And because if you're loving somebody else like we want to be loved, like at the end of the day, it should be easy. But it's not. Obviously, it's not going to be easy, because if it was that easy, I guess what, we'd all be there already. But we're not. Again, I'm not a preacher or none of that stuff like that. And a lot of stuff, like I said, I read the Bible, but it was a strong book that gave me a lot of the word faith and myself. Yeah, just encouragement, I guess. So I'm a firm believer in no matter what you believe in, if whatever you believe in is giving you encouragement and something and is guiding you to do the right thing, that's really all that matters, you know, because at the end of the day, none of us really know. I don't care what you say in my comments. I know there will be people, Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the light. And then there will be some who's saying, you know, you need to follow Allah and Allah is the way. And, you know, and then there will be some who's saying, you know, all sing the praises to the Holy Buddha. I mean, there's so many different religions and we all believe different things. And again, I'm not going to say that nobody is wrong. All I will say is make sure that you believe in something. But at the end of the day, just make sure that you bless somebody today, because I promise you I'm gonna bless somebody tomorrow. Yeah, that was a nice little rant that I just went on. But yeah, I felt like I wanted to talk about it, and it is what it is. If you don't like what I said, you know, you can feel free to hit that unsubscribe button. I don't want you to go.
Please stay.
I feel like these platforms need to be free for us to express ourselves. Yeah. So I know some people are going to be like, you know, you can only believe one way or you can only think one way. But to me, I've tried a lot of religions under the sun, you know, and at the end of the day, I found in my moments, there was a lot of them I felt were the truest to me. So who am I to tell you what to believe or what to do or anything? All I'm trying to tell you is let's get some mental education. Let's get our minds prepared mentally for the war that they have for all of us. Yeah, that's what it's about for me. Yeah, and that was a nice little rant, wasn't it? I know, I be doing that sometimes. I just be going on rants. Don't even be talking about nothing. I just be going on rants. But I will say this. It's important that we open our eyes. Yeah, open our eyes, read some, and because if it wasn't for books when I was locked up, I don't know what I would have did, you know? I did read a lot of nonfiction books, don't get me wrong. I mean, I told you, James, I don't know if I told you, but I said it recently in one of my videos. James Patterson is one of my favorite authors. I have some of his books on my bookshelf right now. And I read a lot of his books, nonfiction. But I did make sure to take that time to put some education in my mental. No matter how you do it, by a book, by a YouTube video, by music, by spoken word. I don't care how you do it. Take care of your mental, put some information in there that you feel like you really need and utilize that information. Don't just put it in there just to keep it in there, but utilize it. At the end of the day, like I said, I'm grateful for all these books. And I know if I ever need to think of a side hustle, I have over 1,001. But all jokes aside, obviously there's many books out there for you guys to go out there and check that's similar to these books. I'm sure that you've probably read some of these books, but I just wanted to share my experience. And these are the books that I've actually read. And these books were actually in prison with me. And they're free too. So yeah, so you got to see some books that were in prison. Hey, no, but all jokes aside and all seriousness, I can't even talk sometimes. That's what happens when I start getting nervous. I start getting nervous and I can't talk. But anyways, that means it's time to go. Make sure that you bless somebody today, because I promise you I'm gonna bless somebody tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching the channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for your boy. But most importantly, Tay's out.